Monday, September 9th, 2024, 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call?
Yes. Mr. Sterling?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mrs. Hastings?
Here.
Mrs. Meeks? Here.
Pat Cook, Recording Secretary.
Terrell Yarbrough, Superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle Erb, Curriculum and Instruction.
Jason Bloom, Communications and Community Relations.
Josh Ray, Business and Operations.
All right.
One of the better times of the night.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, well, it is my pleasure this evening to introduce a few very important people
All right.
from Marquette Elementary School that are here to lead us in the pledge. So I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Moreland, our principal, and he'll talk a little bit about the group that we have in front of us.
Great. These four, we have each week we pick VIPs of the week. Our theme this year is Lights, Camera, Learn. Have you turn around so you can see you got that shirt on? So it's all about Hollywood and celebrities and making sure that they feel important when they show up. So these are some of our VIPs from the very first week of school, and I'm going to let them just say their names.
My name is Amel. My name is Noah. My name is Avery.
Kenzie. All right. Just going to ask everyone, please stand for the pledge.
Thank you.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, board, if I could.
They were giving instructions, or can we do it?
See, you all are the celebrities.
And we're just listening.
I'm excited. They're the only ones I'm following.
Oh, come on.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Guardians, if you want to take a quick photo, I can get out of the way.
Real quick. Sorry.
Awesome. Good job, guys.
Wow, you really went down the hall.
Just came from it. Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I gotta shut my alarm off. It's going off at like every meeting.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. All right, with that, I want to actually move 7B up to just say, I'd like to do a moment of silence for our Marquette Elementary Assistant Principal, Monica McWilliams, who passed away on August 27th, 2024. Thank you. With that, I turn it over to Dr. Terrell Yarbrough.
All right, the mission of the Harlem Consolidated School District has a vital part of the community is to help diverse learners realize their limited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence, a strong character, and a safe and respectful learning environment.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve board meeting minutes from August 19th, 2024, regular and closed minutes?
Mike, I believe at the last board meeting, and I may have confused dates, but I believe at the last board meeting, I stated that I wanted to go on record that summer was not over with. I did not note that in the minutes.
Okay.
Noted.
Duly noted, and it's on audio recording now. Thank you, sir.
Motion.
Second,
Thank you.
yeah.
Ready when you are.
Ready when you are.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
I apologize, everybody.
This is just for a motion from the meeting minutes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings? Aye. Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
All right, moving on. Jason Bloom.
All right, thank you. Well, good evening, everyone. This evening, I had to make a few minor changes, and so one thing I have for you tonight is kind of the start of a slideshow that Michael's been putting together. As you're aware, or most of you should be aware, we collect first day photos, and this year we had almost double the amount of photos that we've received in years past. So we had over 500 photos that were submitted to us, which is pretty awesome. And so this is going to be playing in the background. We don't need to sit and probably watch it for the 5 minutes and 32 seconds, but it will play in the background so you can see what I consider probably my second favorite day of the school year. Obviously, first being able to participate in graduation and being a part of that whole festivity, but also this day, like getting to see kids that are super excited to come to school, to be back, the smiles on their faces, probably smiles on parents that are like, okay, it's time to go back. And so this is always a great time for us to be able to celebrate coming back to school, which I know happened a few weeks ago, but like I said, with the abundance of photos that we got, it's taken us a little bit of time to start to put this together. So once we get the final kind of version of this, we'll obviously share this out community-wide through newsletters, et cetera. But I did want to take a moment to thank Michael, and then obviously to all of our families that participated this year. It was really cool to see just the flooding of photos that we got this year compared to years past. So that is all I have for my recognition tonight. It's the faces that we are here for. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I can just keep running while we're playing. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you. With that, we're going to be moving over to comments from the community. We have 2 comments tonight. First one's going to be Ms. Kelly Gomez.
So just as uncomfortable as this is going to be for you, it is for parents too. Today I would like to address safety issues in response to the Atlanta shooting last week and last Friday's football game. I'm asking for processes to be put in place to monitor any student that has or have had suicidal tendency or other mental health cries for help. The Appalachia High School failed because they didn't have a process in place to monitor Colt Gray. The issue with the shooter's mental health was brought to the counselor's attention and he did nothing. The counselor knew for at least a week his mental health was deteriorating. He still put him back in class with other students. He was red flagged by the FBI a year prior, who passed it on to local police, and police told the school to monitor the student. But with no process in place, that did not happen. And they did nothing to prevent this tragedy. Colt Gray's mother called to warn the school to check on him 30 minutes before the shooting. The person that checked on him didn't even know which kid he was and searched the wrong kid. The student sitting next to him said he left the classroom like he always does. Why is a kid able to be unsupervised at any time with this many warning signs? Again, there was no process in place. This kid should have been in the hospital. This negligence cost 4 families the most gut-wrenching pain he could ever endure. Schools need processes in place to follow students with mental health issues. The shooting in Michigan regarding Ethan Crumbley was also preventable. A teacher saw a drawing by Ethan with a statement, "Blood everywhere. The thoughts won't stop, help me." He was evaluated by his counselor. His backpack was never checked and was sent back to class because the counselor knew he was suicidal and thought it would be best for him to be around his peers. That decision and not having a process in place caused 4 families the most gut-wrenching pain they could ever encounter. I did report a student in distress about a month ago that was brought to my attention to your secretary. Her response was, well, I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't going to go anywhere. My fear is that we're not awake and we're not listening. It was because I didn't have the student's last name, but I continued to give details. Because of these details I received, I knew exactly who the student was. She's a mandated reporter, and she should be held accountable for blowing it off. She could have reached out to the proper people. I told her who would help. I hung up and I called the high school. I spoke with Nikki Dawson Foley. Luckily, she did take it serious and reached out to the students' family immediately. The student needs a process, and also teachers need to know who is sitting in their classrooms and what their history is regarding mental health, if they've ever made a threat or have had suicidal tendencies. We need to get this process in place as soon as possible to make sure everyone is aware of exactly what that process is. I know we've had previous threats, and I'm asking you, are those students red flagged and given a process? These are our signs that we need to address. Even if it was years prior and put those students in a process to be checked on at home with teachers and even bus drivers. The students also need training of what to do and what to watch for, and remind them of exactly what to do with the information that they have. They should be reminded regularly. A mental health team and process needs to happen, and these kids should not be in our school if they have these tendencies. Lastly, last Friday's football game was a wake-up call that we can all learn from. Talking with several students, they said they were trapped because of a locked gate. This first fight broke out near the entrance, so when someone yelled gun, they tried to escape, but in order to do that, they had to climb fences due to the locked gate. I'd also like to say that due to these situations, other schools have moved their football games and dances, etc., to after school instead of at night. I also met a mom from a boys' school. She said they have all gone to clear backpacks, and their security officer addresses everybody at the door. They have 4 officers for every floor. Other schools are installing metal detectors. The system that was used in last week's shooting was Centigix, where staff have lanyards and they press a button on the lanyard that immediately calls 911, and the officers can see exactly where the shooter is in the building. I know the metal detectors and the system are costly, but I would like to offer my time to go out and raise money from the community to make this happen for our kids. I will build a team around me to help make this happen. We have to lay our heads on our pillow at night and say that we are doing everything to keep our kids safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca?
I just wanted to comment about the stoplight well, not a stoplight, to see if we can implement a stoplight at the middle school, because last year there was a child that got hit with a car, and it's really disorganized, the lineup there. Also, we talked to somebody at Loves Park Police.
Shannon, at the street department.
Okay, at the street department, and she said that there's the cross officer there, so they didn't want to really do anything unless the school wanted to do something, or the district. So we would just like your support in trying to maybe get a stoplight put in there to.
Where?
It's gonna be right directly in front of the middle school. Apparently, there is a light, but it's farther west by the teacher's parking lot on the west side. Most of our kids are crossing right in the middle of the school.
And the cars don't even stop right
slightly
there,
west.
so.
And we've got that indent there too, that it's a lot to see there, and they're not even seeing the pedestrian
I have
signs.
videos of like cars just passing that like crosswalk with the stop when children are trying to cross the street. And it's the children really have to know, like, I think they're probably 8th graders that know, like, you have to watch before you even go past all 4 of the lanes. You have to make sure every 4 lanes has stopped completely, because you never know if a car is gonna come bursting through there. So I just wanted to bring it to your guys' attention and also see if we could plan on doing something with that possibly, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, turning it over to Josh for approval of the bills.
All right, thank you very much. The total payables this period were $1,098,755.33. There was one payroll this period in the amount of $3,515,381.37. For a total expense of $4,614,136.70. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $3,926,191.22. The operations and maintenance fund paid $260,481.09. The transportation fund paid $160,244.41. The IMRF Social Security Fund paid $120,684.05. And the Capital Projects Fund paid $143,535.93. Again, for total expenditures of $4,614,136.70. Are there any unanswered bill questions?
No.
If not, that's it for the bills.
Motion to approve the bills.
Second.
Mrs. Hasty?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
With that, turning it over to Communications Committee reports. Ms. Emily? I know you love going first.
I don't like going first. So, hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate the students from Marquette coming out to do the pledge, and thank you, Rob, for the students. My condolences to you and your staff and the students at the school. And my condolences also to Monica McWilliams' family. Also, I like the artwork. I wasn't able to attend the football game on Friday because I was in Charleston at my husband's fraternity banquet at A Phi A Alpha, so I missed all of the things, but I really do feel bad when we have things that happen, especially when it's uncontrollable and you don't know what to do and people get in a panic, but we're gonna do our best to try to make sure we keep the safety up and do things to improve what we need to have done. And I appreciate you, Rebecca and Kelly, coming out with your concerns. Trust me, we've been trying. So when you come and let us know other things that we can kind of try to work on, it's good. So I just want everybody to know that we really do appreciate when you come to us and let us know what's actually happening, because we're not there to see, but if we have people that are not afraid that can come and just talk to us and let us know what needs to be done and what we can improve on, we really do appreciate it. Congratulations to the girls flag football team. I'm so glad we finally, and I know the students are all happy and I'm happy. I wish I could play football, but back when I was a child, women couldn't. Well, we had little things like cheerleading, pom-pom and dance, but we played football amongst ourselves, but girls weren't. It wasn't looked at that we can do things, but we can do anything we want to do. Thank you. Okay, our next Equity and Social Justice meeting will be October 9th at 4:30 at here. I'm trying to think if I have anything else. I think that's it, but once again, I just want to tell you guys, thank you for coming out and speaking. My condolences to all the schools and different districts around the country that have had these experiences. I know that lasts a lifetime, and I feel sorry for the students and the staff. It's something that you never get over with, but we're going to do our best to make sure that it doesn't happen here. So thank you so much. That's my report.
Thank you. Turning it over to Mr. Larry Smith.
Thank you. Thank you for the comments from the community. They're very much appreciated. Again, it's up to all of us to make those efforts to reduce the amount of violence in schools and in our community and reduce our violence everywhere. We have to be teaching our kids that it's not okay to hurt others. And we need to be speaking up and saying we need to do something. But we have to take ownership on ourselves and do everything that we can to prevent these violent situations from happening. I support all of the efforts that the district personnel take in regards to social emotional learning, and I support all the efforts that are made that are proactive so that we can address situations before we have to respond. So anything that the district does, I fully support it. And I also support all of the staff that are working with students, that when there are situations and they do have to respond to those situations, I support those interventions in line with the discipline code, in line with addressing and sending a clear message that it is not okay to show those antisocial behaviors in the school, because those become antisocial behaviors outside of the school. We need to send that message loud and clear. It doesn't matter if you are a teacher or an administrator, a bus driver. I support whatever the response is, I have to, and I will support those interventions because it isn't okay. And I truly appreciated the comments from the community because that was on my heart coming into this meeting tonight. So thank you very much. Go Huskies. Ms. Hastings, when is the next Education Committee meeting?
Larry, the next Education Committee meeting is gonna be on September 4th at 4:30 p.m.
October 9th.
Oh, October 9th, sorry, I'm looking on, online.
That's why I was confused.
It's over to you and it's the wrong date, man, they really set us up.
They did.
October 9th, thank you, at 4:30 p.m. So, first thing I wanna say is, being I don't want to speak for everybody at the table, but I know my experience coming onto the board, there's a huge learning curve, especially if you haven't been in the educational space, and there's a lot to take in. I always like to say Harlem is the perfect size district. You know, it's easily covered, but it's not too small that there's never an opportunity to learn something new, visit someone new, see somebody do something new. One of my first committees I attended, Monica McWilliams sat next to me. And I will never forget the kindness that she gave me that day. Not helicoptering, but noticing when my face obviously was saying all of my feelings and helping me figure out some of the intricacies of just being new to the board. Not to mention, picking the seat next to me in the first place. So my condolences to her family. It was a huge loss, not only for the school, but for the district. And she will be very missed. Going on to the safety point, I think as a parent, there's not one day that you don't think about what we have to think about as parents these days, and then add on being a board member. There's not only, again, not speaking for anybody else at the table, but I feel an immense amount of responsibility to all of our students. I know when Terrell and I talked when I first got on the board, he can vouch for me on this, my biggest concerns were that the kids were safe and they were fed. Because I don't think if the kids are, they don't feel safe and they don't have food in their bellies, there's no way that we're even gonna get them to the table to learn anything. I think Miss Bellini at the middle school said it best at their middle school introduction meetings. If your kid is here, they're safe. They're learning and they're safe. And I want to ensure that we do everything possible to uphold those words. I really appreciate the public comments for safety reasons. You know, I have a middle schooler, but they jump on the bus. I don't see that. So I appreciate it. It is though the subject matter, like the first speaker said, is uncomfortable, it is a breath of fresh air to have folks come in and express real needs that our kids need to stay safe when they're going to any 122 school. So thank you for all of the administrators, the athletic department, the coaches that helped out on Friday night, the board members. Thank you. Although it was stressful, it was scary, there was a lot of like unknowns, I consistently heard that everybody and anybody jumped in to help the kids get out and get safe. So I appreciate anybody that helped our kids get out and get safe that night. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Obviously, at the end of all these comments, they kind of run together or sound the same, but again, I do have a middle schooler there, so I've seen it, and I know I've had to get out and yell at cars because they just don't, they don't stop. People are on their cell phones and driving through with these kids at 40 miles an hour, and it's frustrating to say the least, in the kindest words. The safety, it really hit home, actually being there Friday night. I have to give so much love and respect to our administrators and our resource officers and the police officers that not only came, not only helped, but they weren't heavy-handed. It was very chaotic with the children, with the students. I'm trying to say it in ways, because it was unsettling at first to see when you're trying to get 150 kids to step back so that you could get to the 2 kids that are causing the scene. And then to know the whole situation, but see when police officers roll up that the crowd just runs from them, and then hearing there was a gun, and there wasn't. It was just kids running away from the line of cops that were called in because of the scene. And then seeing family members jump down from the stands to say they're going to get their kids. And at that point, even my children were there and said that they were scared. And I was trying to give them reassurances, but to see that, actually in their face, and know that this is what, unfortunately, our children have become trained and accustomed to. They hear a certain thing, they see a crowd moving, they instantly go to, it's a gun, it's a situation, and they're trained to get away. And they did, which I have to commend them for doing those actions. It really hurt and sucked that they did. I have to give love and respect to our neighbors who took students in surrounding the stadium, made sure that they were safe, gave them a place to be warm, call their families, wait inside their own homes. That's just showing you that it takes a village to raise. It goes with that safety concerns that we heard tonight. It also goes with safety concerns that we hear from our schools. So it was very, again, I have to go back to all the staff that stepped up and put themselves in harmful situations. I have a video of our principal getting pummeled, and he was respectful, he was trying to calm the situation, and not once did he raise his voice, not once did he act out of line. I mean, he was professional to a T. And then just complained about one little cut on his hand when he could have went further. All of Machesney Park, Loves Park, officers that showed up within moments. I mean, it was so chaotic, but so well responded that we had, I think, firehouses all the way from to, not Stillman Valley or whatever, covering emergency calls because they responded to our kids and our calls for need within a moment's notice. And that is something to, in a bad situation, bright spots were shown. I just want to give everybody the respect that they do. And you saw officers not knowing the situation come in running towards us to figure out where they needed to go. Not a hesitation, not let's find out back in the safety of their cars and figure out what's going on. They got out and they ran. And to see that support for each other and for our kids was good. And in the worst kind of situation, the best things can happen. So I do have to thank them for that. With that, let's go into some normal stuff. Next regular board meeting will be September 23rd at 6 p.m. Our next policy committee meeting will again be October 9th, 4:30. Oh yeah, we do have a public hearing meeting at 5:40 that same night on September 23rd. That's probably going to be for
It's the changes in the budget, yeah, to the final budget. Yeah.
So if you guys want to come hear about some good budget stuff, yeah, 5:40. It's amazing, but it's important. It is. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Kurt Thompson.
Wow, Evelyn said it's hard going first, but I'm going to argue that it's, especially a night like this, it's hard going last. Thanks to all the board members with everything that's been said to this point and covering them quite well. My condolences to the McWilliams family and really the whole Marquette family. A lot of good memories there with my son and the like, and also just calling out the way that other schools and HAC has stepped up to make sure that everything is running as smoothly as it can at that school. Yes, it's going to be hard to even find some shoes remotely close to what was there. And again, condolences for what's going on there. Thank you for all the feedback from public comments. I think you said the breath of fresh air of having these comments for not just here's a problem, but coming with some real solutions or please, this is what we need, help us. And that is exactly right, like it's a breath of fresh air to what we can do, and then it's on us to really kind of take advantage of how we can move on that, see what opportunities are there. Thanks to everyone that helped as we could on Friday night and telling us everything that was going on there. Mike, I think there's going to be many conversations of what we can do and what we can learn from those experiences. And to Larry, it's on us as community members and parents especially to make sure this does not happen. It is on us to instill those values in our children so this doesn't happen in the first place. We need to have those tools. We need to make sure that if there are students that are having issues that we take care of that, but it is a village, and that's part of it, right? And it starts with parents and moves on from there. Wow, you guys covered everything quite well. But happy news. Orange and Black Night was fantastic, and great as another opportunity to be there and see all the great athletes and the excitement for this back to school season and what we expect to see from them and what we are seeing from the football results for the boys and girls. I am so excited about our girls team and that is in our area and is brought here. I'm so proud of that. I believe I've hit most of the stuff. If not, you guys definitely got that. Yeah, with that, it is the meeting as a whole. So if you didn't know, it was October 9th. Mine is also October 9th. You get your opportunity still here to see Josh and the next business services meeting. And that represents, I think, all of our reports.
All right.
Mike?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mike, you missed minutes recommendation to Or is that?
No, actually I did. In my,
Yeah, they forgot to put in the minutes that I said summer's not
Yeah.
over with.
These are
Wasn't
different.
complete.
Still not
These
over
are-
with, by the way.
recommendation, I have a recommendation to release closed redacted minutes from January 1st, 2024 through June 30th, 2024. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Michelle Hurd.
Thank you. I have only one item this evening. At the committee of the whole meeting, I put the travel request to everyone to see. The volleyball team did have an overnight. They left Friday afternoon and returned Saturday evening for a volleyball tournament. That ends my report.
Thank you. Yes. Josh Wright.
All right, thank you. The first item tonight is a recommendation to approve resolution declaring surplus property for Parker Center, Maple, McChesney, the Administration Center, and Windsor Elementary. Questions on surplus? Next, I have one facility request, so I have a recommendation to approve that request with State Line Events for the high school in November. The next item is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Soy Bilingual Therapy LLC to provide speech and language testing and evaluation reports for the 24-25 school year at a cost of $1,000 for students in grades K2 and $1,400 for grades 3 through 12 students, paid with the IDEA grant. Next is a recommendation to approve an independent contractor agreement with Christina Kuchnor, sorry if I mispronounced that, to provide bilingual psychological evaluations at a cost of $900 per academic assessment per student and $1,100 per academic and cognitive assessment per student, paid with IDEA grant funds. Any questions on that? Okay. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Lighthouse Speech Therapy to provide speech and language services at a cost of $110 per hour, not to exceed 3 days per week for 10 weeks, paid with the IDEA grant funds. And there is a memo from Director Heidi Lang regarding the need for this service. Next, it talks about the tentative budget, and as you mentioned earlier, at our next meeting, there'll be the public hearing beforehand, which will go over any changes, and I'll recommend the board approve the final budget at that time. So I really don't have anything other than that for that item.
Thank you for putting the presentation on the last meeting notes. So if anyone is out there and didn't see it, it's in English outside of just the standard financials that we usually see, Josh. So you did a great job. I was glad to see that attached so we can share that with the community.
Great, thank you. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Gordon Flesh Company to provide 7 copiers, 4 at the admin, 1 transportation, and 2 at the middle school, for a total cost of $82,799. I did talk to Gordon Flesh today, and if we approve, they will be in within 3 weeks by the end of the month. So.
Cool.
Some big copies.
Yeah.
I think just calling out like we did at the meeting, just the fact that we used to lease and now we realize it's cheaper to own and we're not paying basically those leasings or finance charges, and that's working out well.
Yep, thank you. Next is a recommendation to approve a 1-year subscription with Panorama Ed for the high school, or the Harlem High School Improvement Team at a cost of $9,975, paid with the high school building budget. Next is a recommendation to approve a professional development agreement with the Regional Office of Education for Teacher Institute Day on September 27th, 2024, at a cost of $5,449, funded by Title II. All right, so this last item wasn't in committee of the whole. It's a recommendation to approve a resolution authorizing the superintendent or the assistant superintendent for business and operations to execute documents contemplated by the option to solar lease energy and easement agreement. It's like when you close on a house, there's a lot of just little documents rather than having the board approve all of those. So they're ready for us to sign those. So, but our council wanted us to have that, just giving us the authorization. So everything that was contemplated within the lease, nothing outside of that, so.
Is there anything that determines what's outside? Is there just something that determines if it's something you should or should be brought to the board? Like, how much of how much wiggle room are we giving you? for
Sure,
lack of
so
a better
anything,
word?
so when we talked to council, they just said anything that was directly referenced within the lease,
Okay.
within that. So like an easement agreement, just final signature paperwork kind of things.
So, anything that would change the initial agreement would be brought to the board,
Yes.
not just signed off.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, if he shows up in a solar car, could be.
Don't say that.
I have a solar car, but you don't need the painful actual.
I like a solar car better.
Yes, look, I was better.
I will approve that.
If there's no other questions, that's my report this evening.
Thank you, sir. And with that, Dr. Shelley Lang.
Thank you. This evening, I bring the recommendation to approve the personnel agenda and resignations. I'd like to draw your attention to transfers. Please strike Catherine Kuzinski from the agenda this evening. Transfer. Also under employments, please strike Dwayne Milton under employments. After that, we have 23 employments, 13 transfers, and 12 resignations. That'll do it for me this evening.
Thank you. And with that, Dr. Troy Yarbrough.
Okay, thank you. Before I read my 5 FOIA requests from the same person, Mr. Owen Wang, I wanted to also comment on behalf of the whole admin team on the passing of Monica McWilliams. I mean, she was just a phenomenal person. You know, a lot of what was already said at the table, but just a phenomenal person and a Husky through and through. I mean, I don't know if everyone knew that, but she graduated from Harlem and left and came back, which says a lot, right? And wanted to work in the district that she graduated from. And so I wanted to say that, you know, on behalf of all of us, because she was just a phenomenal person. And obviously the Marquette staff have and students, to be honest with you, have rallied around each other to support each other in their time of need. So we'll continue to do that as well. And then the football game. I just wanted to say I'm extremely proud of our students and our staff and our administrators and first responders for how that, I mean, a situation which none of us want to be involved in. Like you said, Mr. Smith, as far as being proactive in the trainings that, you know, obviously we invest a lot of time in, and you saw that in action. I mean, you saw our administrators and board members not running away from a situation where they don't know who got what, they ran towards it for our kids. That, just proud, our staff running towards that for our kids. And our kids with their training, right? They hear something and they ran off the north end of the field. That's what we want, right? And we'll continue to obviously assess our safety protocols and what we do, and we'll continue to invest in upgrades to that as well. And I don't want to speak for everyone, but again, I agree with what Kelly, Ms. Gomez said, as far as, to be honest with you, I don't care about the price. We need to, whatever we need to do and we feel we need to do that's going to keep our staff and our students safe, then we look into that, period. That's just it. And then we find a way to make it happen. And so I just wanted to say that and get that on record. Before I go back to the normal, regularly scheduled FOIA requests, and I got 5 of them here, so I'll read them pretty quickly, and if you have any questions, please let me know. The first one submitted by Owen Wang, Rockford's son, on August 19, 2024, requesting information on teachers and the district's response dated August 23, 2024, with inclusive documentations. The second one, again from Owen Wang, dated August 22nd of 2024, requesting additional teacher information and the district's response dated August 29, 2024, with partial inclusive information. The third one, requested on August 27, 2024, again by Owen Wang, Rockford's son, requesting information on student activities and clubs, and the district's response dated 8/27/24, noting the website where these activities can be found. The next one, submitted again by Owen Wang of Rockford's son on August 29, 2024, requesting copies of the school calendars for 2024-2025, and the district's response with responsive information dated August 29, 2024, and then the final one submitted on August 30th from Owen Wang of Rockford Sun, requesting information on official enrollments for all schools for the new school year. And the district's response dated August 30th, 2024, denying the request at that time. Because, and just real quick, only denying that because we had not, finished our enrollments. So we have to wait until that process finishes itself out, which is.
It was just, it
Yeah.
was on Friday, I believe was the 15th day, so then all the drops have to take place.
So then we'll be able to do that, submit that to Owen Wang of Rockford Sun.
I'll be interested in seeing what that final number is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that ends my report.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second to approve personnel agenda
Motion.
and addenda?
Second.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
Can we get a motion and a second to approve student travel request?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Can I get a motion to approve facility requests?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution declaring surplus property?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve release of redacted closed minutes from January 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve an independent contractor agreement with Soy Bilingual Therapy LLC to provide speech and language testing and evaluation reports for 2024-2025 school year at $1,000 per K to second grade students and $1,400 per third through 12th students paid with the IDEA grant?
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
13D, can I get a motion to approve an independent contractor agreement with Christina? I'm just gonna murder that. Gucci to provide bilingual psychological evaluations at a cost of $900 per academic assessment per student and $1,100 per academic and cognitive assessment per student paid with IDEA grants.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs.
Let me drink
Meeks?
some water.
Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve agreement with Lighthouse Speech Therapy to provide speech and language services at a cost of $110 per hour and not to exceed 3 days per week for 10 weeks, paid with the IDEA grant funds?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve agreement with Gordon Flesh Company to provide 7 copiers, 4 at the Administrative Center, 1 at Transportation Department, and 2 at Harlem Middle School, for a total cost of $82,799?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye. Can I get a motion to approve a 1-year subscription with Panorama Education for the Harlem High School Improvement Team at a cost of $9,975, paid by the high school building budget?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs.
Sorry.
Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
So this already happened, right? September 27, 2024, so if we don't approve it, they don't get that
No,
money?
it hasn't happened yet.
It's
2.5 weeks.
2 weeks.
Oh, goodness.
Wow.
It's still summertime
I was
too.
like, man, did we already approve
You
it?
just think you'd get your car back by then.
Yeah, I might get my car back. Thank you.
You did make me check my watch.
All right, I just wanted to make sure I'm keeping everybody on their toes. Can I get a motion to approve a professional development agreement with the Regional Office of Education for Teacher Institute Day, September 27th, 2024, for a cost of $5,449, funded by Title II grant?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve resolution authorizing superintendent or assistant superintendent for business and operations to execute documents contemplated by the option to solar energy lease and easement agreement?
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Hastings?
Aye.
Mrs. Meeks? Aye. Mr. Sterling?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
All right, announcements and discussion. I wanted to maybe put it on people's radars. I want to just discuss next year's schedule and see where we're sitting at, if it's a possibility of trying to get some more bus drivers and change these schedules. I just would like to have that conversation.
You're not saying calendar, you're talking about time schedules, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Where are these bus drivers?
I don't know, but if we don't try it, we don't know.
That implies we're not trying though either, right? Like,
Well,
I'm with
no,
you.
but not if we are at said number and we're only maintaining said number, we're not trying to get to new said number.
Fair.
So I would just like to see where we're at.
The old number is like 16, is that still the number?
No, it's worse.
So,
We had extras in there, like additional from the 3-tier, so it's come down to where we were, because we were actually short the other day.
Okay, we'll see, this is, again,
We probably need 20, honestly, at this point.
so
Like
20
total
to
or in
maintain what we
addition?
have, or 20 to like restore to last? Okay.
Wait, just to clarify, in addition to?
What you have now,
Goodness.
How many do we have right now?
The retirements.
35?
No,
Yeah,
we
there
have
are
more
many.
next. We
Okay.
have 10 backups, we have the out-of-district route ones, so I think it's 53 is the total number when you look at everything.
With the backups.
Yeah, we would need a lot more.
We were full for 5 seconds.
Full on 3-tier.
I get it,
Full
I
on
just would
yeah.
like to
Sure.
discuss, see where we're at, look, just to see. But that was, instead of just not and saying that this is our new decision, I just want to have those conversations, that's all.
What are some of the requirements that have got to be addressed?
Would it help if we didn't go to
But you want
daylight
to keep the
savings
requirements
time?
high too.
But they can't have felonies. and
Sorry?
stuff like that,
Right, yeah.
What was it, Larry?
He just said something that was,
Would it help if we didn't go to daylight savings?
Ah,
say, that's where I am.
okay.
You walked right into that one.
He did. But no, that was just my only, with everything else, I would just like to put that back on our radar if we could.
Do we still have do we still have any active marketing? I've seen other marketing for other postings in the school. Do we still have active marketing for bus drivers?
So we pulled it down for a minute, a few
Okay.
days, and then Don put it back up, and so
Okay.
that was more, so if qualified people come in, like you were saying, we could hire them rather than just anyone, kind of
Okay.
thing, so that we keep it as an open posting, and if good people pop up, we hire them.
Okay, if something was, let's just say, a miraculous thing happened and we were able to hire, that would change, that's gonna change the 2025 budget, right?
Yes, because we adjusted the pay for that too, for the 3-tier.
Okay, so can you run some quick numbers in the next little bit to see what that might cost us? Because then we know, I mean, with the new pay, if you say, come back and say, we can't afford it at this time, then that changes the dynamic anyways. I would like to have as many answers or questions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Stewart Haas Racing's closing down. Those guys are gonna be looking for jobs.
Kids will be in time.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Install the governors.
Shelley's like, oh.
Does anybody else have anything else?
That's a great point.
Yeah,
I would love to hear information on that as well.
Okay, cool.
or anything, like if there's any opportunities of administration, community, anything that there's issues, problems, or, you know, just like tonight, right? Like, if you do this, it would be really nice, or I've noticed, I'm trying to do this, and why are you doing it this way? Just make sure we're aware of it, because we know it's not perfect, and it's challenging for all of us for these new times, but there's always improvement.
Well, while we talk and see what options we have, there might be a possibility to have Love's Park out on that road. Like, especially during those times,
Yeah.
have those officers out there with their car with their lights on. That, just to at least put some more eyes in and,
They're out there, and I think that's.
no, but we might need to put some more out there.
I know. Or we get standing out there, like, down with tickets.
That's the only way to stop.
I wanted to mention something too, if it was okay. Windsor Elementary School has the same start and end time as the middle school, so that adds to the traffic. If it was a different time, it might have.
It's been considered, it's part of the busing thing that we had with everything.
Are you guys aware that the city is reworking that whole intersection for a water tower?
It's not a water tower, it's a pump
Is
station.
it a pump? Okay. I just didn't know if you were in that discussions with them that may help, you know, that you guys have feedback into that too, with the drop-offs and where the entrances or how they're reworking that, so.
Yeah, keep us up to date on that, so if it's gonna change anything.
It should.
Okay, but if it does. All right, does anybody have anything else? All right, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn?
Motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's done. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody.